What is the horizontal line test? Well, first of all, it's similar to the vertical line test, which we've already talked about. So the horizontal line test allows us to check if a given graph represents a function. Or excuse me, represents a one-to-one function. The vertical line test tells us if it is a function. The horizontal line test tells us if it's a one-to-one function. All right, so how do we use the horizontal line test? Well, first of all, we need to check if the given graph even represents a function, because if it's not a function, it can't be a one-to-one function. So first, verify a function using the vertical line test. If you determine that it is a function, then we can check if it passes the horizontal line test. So if any horizontal line passes through at most once, then the function is one-to-one. Another way that we can say this is if any horizontal line passes through more than once, then the function is not one-to-one. So why does this test work? Recall that a one-to-one function is a function for which each output can only come from one input. So for a function, each input is only allowed one output, and now we force the reverse. If you look at an output, it is only allowed to come from one input. So it's one-to-one. That's where the name comes from. So let's take a look at a few examples. So let's take a look at a sideways parabola, and let's determine if this is a one-to-one function. First, check if it's even a function using the vertical line test. I immediately see there are tons of examples where this graph fails the vertical line test, so not even a function. And if you're not a function, you can't be one-to-one. There's no point in even doing the horizontal line test because it's not even a function. Now let's take an example. Let's see if we can create an example that is a function but is not one-to-one. Let's take a look at a vertical parabola. So this one definitely passes the vertical line test just fine. So yes, a function. But when I test the horizontal line test, now I fail because I have many examples of the same y value corresponding to different x's. So that violates the one-to-one definition. So it is a function, but it's not one-to-one. And finally, let's come up with an example of a function that is one-to-one. Let's look at something that would have an odd degree power. So something that looks like a cubic function. So we definitely pass the vertical line test and we pass the horizontal line test. So this would be a one-to-one function.